In today's video, I'm going to be taking you guys along with me while I attend Animate in Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you are local to the Raleigh, North Carolina area, or if you're maybe considering traveling out of state to a convention, or if maybe you're just new to cosplay conventions and you want to get a taste of what it's actually like attending these conventions, then stick around for this video. By the way, during this vlog, if you see any cool cosplays that really stick out to you, go ahead and comment them down below because I want to kind of keep an eye out. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, hi, and welcome. My name is Star. Otherwise, I'm simply known as Lady Dead Rabbit here on the internet. I am a professional full-time cosplayer, and on this channel, I dedicate everything to cosplay and cosplay-related topics. This is actually my first time ever attending Animate. Now, I have gone to plenty of other conventions in the Raleigh-Durham area. It's also held in the same location as Animazement and GalaxyCon, which is the downtown Raleigh Convention Center. Now, for those of you who are curious, I'm going to go over the ticket prices. For the 3-day VIP all-weekend pass, the tickets are starting at $295. For the 3-day deluxe all-weekend pass, it's going to be starting at $150. Don't ask me the difference between the VIP and the deluxe pass. I don't really know, but I do know their website tells a little bit more about it. For the 3-day pass all weekend, it's just $120. For the 2-day deluxe pass, which is just Saturday and Sunday, it's gonna be $140. For the 2-day pass, also just Saturday and Sunday, it's gonna be $110. For the single day pass for Friday, it's gonna be $50. Single day pass for Saturday is gonna be $70. And the single day pass for Sunday, it's gonna be $60. Now, currently, as the filming of this video, I have not purchased my ticket yet. I'm gonna chat with some of my other local cosplay buddies to see what day they're attending. They're probably gonna be attending Saturday, so I will probably have to pay at least $70 for the pass, which I don't mean to speak ill about this convention because I know that GalaxyCon, which is again hosted by the same people who are doing this convention, is a very big convention. So the pass there is pretty expensive, but $70 for just for one day at a cosplay convention is really crazy to me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to speak ill about them, but that is ridiculously priced. I will say, however, children that are 9 years old and younger actually get in for free. So for any of you families out there who want to attend a cosplay convention, this might be a good option for you. Now, this convention is from March the 13th to March the 15th, so it's that weekend. The event hours are Friday is just going to be from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. Saturday is going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. And then Sunday is going to be from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. I personally have never attended any conventions at night. I have only ever gone in like the early mornings to like the afternoon to even kind of the evening area for conventions. However, depending on what time my friends might be attending, I might be going later on in the night just to kind of get a taste of what it's actually like. Now, I do want to go over some of these safety policies just because that does vary from convention to convention. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the safety policy for Animate is going to be the same for Animazement and GalaxyCon. So just a quick overview, and I'm reading off the actual website. Bags are subject to search, so it doesn't matter how small the bag is or how big it is. You can bring it in, but they do have to search it. So whenever you're up there, before you even enter the building, the security is going to ask you to open it up, and then they're just going to kind of look at it. So what is allowed? Lightsabers are, of course, allowed. It also says that if your prop looks cartoonish in any way, it's generally allowed. Looks like it was only made for a movie and not real battle. It's also allowed. Harley Quinn bats are okay with Harley Quinn costumes, which I think is interesting that they say that. In the past couple years, I actually haven't seen that many Harley Quinn cosplays at conventions. I do know several years back, whenever like the Zack Snyderverse was still alive, and the Suicide Squad movies were coming out, I do remember seeing a lot of Harley Quinn cosplays. So I'm curious if we're gonna see like a comeback of Harley Quinn cosplays if or when James Gunn introduces that character to the universe. It also says Negan bats are okay with Negan costumes if the barbed wire is plastic and not metal, swords constructed of light foam, plastic, or cardboard, whips and lassos must be stitched or zip tied to the costume. So any of you Catwoman cosplayers or any of you Wonder Woman cosplayers out there, you might want to keep that in mind if you are attending this convention. It also says what's not allowed: no guns, no knives, no bladed weapon made of any hard material, metal, wood, fiberglass are allowed on site, even if sheathed. Anything that looks like a real weapon or a gun, even with an orange tip, is not allowed. If it is a replica or of anything real, or if a police officer wouldn't know if it's real or not from a distance, generally speaking, it's not allowed. It also says going into the harassment, do not touch, follow, bully, or otherwise taunt the fellow attendees online or at the festival. So I'm not going to read the rest of the safety policy because it kind of just goes more in detail of the things I already talked about. But if you guys do want to read a little bit more about that, I will have the actual homepage for this convention linked in the description down below. Now, delving into the cosplay that I plan on attending for this convention, I'm kind of a little bit between a couple different characters, but I think I'm ultimately going to go as Lisa Garland from the Silent Hill video game. This is actually going to be the first time that I'm ever going to cosplay this character. I'm just hoping that all of the material arrives in time. If you're familiar with the character design or even the video game, then you know that there aren't any weapons or any sort of inappropriate things about this cosplay. I'm sure on the actual website for Animates, they probably talk a little bit more about what is allowed for your costume, as I do know some conventions are a lot more stricter than others about what's considered appropriate for your cosplays or not. I'll show you guys some of the things that I'm going to be bringing to this convention, just so some of you newbies can kind of get a feel of what maybe you should keep in mind for bringing to these type of conventions. So this is the actual bag I'm going to be bringing to the convention center. I just need something that's small and not super in the way, but also something that's big enough to actually carry everything that I need it to carry. Are the shoes that I'll be wearing for this cosplay, and as you might guess, this is probably not going to be the most comfortable pair of shoes for a convention. So I am going to be bringing some band-aids to put on my feet, and then I'm also going to be bringing a backup pair of shoes that are a lot more comfortable to wear. I'm also going to be bringing this little case that has my cosplay cards. Now, I talked a little bit about this during my last cosplay vlog, but essentially a cosplay card is just something to give out to people so they can find you on social media. See, I have a QR code on my back, so I'll just give this out to people who like my cosplay and maybe want to check out my cosplay content. I think that this is incredibly useful for networking. I don't have a whole lot of cards left just because the past 2 conventions I've attended. However, I do think this should probably be fine for one day at a convention. Sometime this year, I will be making a full tutorial on how you can make a cosplay card, so keep an eye out for that. Because I am going to be wearing a wig for this cosplay, I'm just going to bring an extra hair tie, and then I'm going to bring a couple little bobby pins, and then I'm going to bring like 2 safety pins, just in the case that something happens to the costume on the convention floor and I need a very quick fix. Because, like I said, this is going to be a lace front wig that I'm going to be wearing, so just in case I need to touch up a couple things, I'm going to be bringing spirit gum, which is just a little adhesive, just to make sure that my lace front doesn't come undone and my wig doesn't slide off my head. For extra security and just added comfort, I'm also going to be bringing this. This is a body clothing tape, so it's like a double-sided tape that you can use, keeping clothing adhered to your skin. I personally am going to bring this for my wig, just in case it decides to be stubborn and I need to use something a little bit stronger than spirit gum, because I don't have a whole lot of spirit gum left. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I'm going to bring for this convention. Let's hop right into the actual vlog part. Okay, so it is March the 14th, Saturday of the convention. It is currently 10:22 a.m. I already took a shower and I let myself sleep in a little bit this morning. Because this convention goes from 10 a.m. to like 1 a.m., I'm not really any rush to get down to the convention center immediately. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of just have some R&R for a couple hours here at the house before I actually get into cosplay and I start heading down there. Okay, so it is currently 12:09. I have had some much needed rest and relaxation. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting into cosplay. I'd say it's still a little bit early considering the fact that this convention literally goes on until 1 in the morning, but I don't really have any other plans today besides attending this convention, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into cosplay and then I'll head down there to the convention center. I am in full cosplay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and order my ride and head on downtown. So I just made it down to the convention center. I got my pass for today. Things are definitely set up a lot differently than how they were set up last time I attended GalaxyCon. Granted, this is a different convention, but it's still held at the same convention center. So I'm going to walk around and kind of just explore and see what all is different. And then I will pull up my phone and just show a little bit of what this convention center looks like for you guys. So I have walked around the convention. I have met up and I've talked to a couple of the vendors that I met at the last convention that I attended, which was IBashaCon. I think I'm going to find something to eat and then I will sit down and just chill out for a little while, and then I'll actually do some networking with some other cosplayers.
Yeah, there was a lot of that last year too.
Say hi for the vlog.
Hi.
Currently 5:45, I think. These my friends ended up heading off back to the hotel room. They'll be here at Animate tomorrow, but I just wanted to be here for Saturday. I'll not be here tomorrow. Crazy, I actually went to high school with the cosplayer dressed up as Cheryl Mason. So it was very interesting to run into her, and then also let alone her also cosplaying a Silent Hill character. So that was very fun. But yeah, my feet are killing me. I'm going to probably hang around the convention for a wee bit longer and just kind of mingle, and then I will probably just head on out home. I got some things from the Artist Alley. I'm not going to tell you guys how much I spent. Okay, I'll tell you guys how much I spent later, and I'll show you guys what I got. But it's almost 7 o'clock. My goal was to stay here until 7, so I think I'm going to do at least one more lap around the area, and then I'll probably call it quits for today. Okay, so I just watched a little bit of the drag show. I'm gonna go ahead and head on home because I think I've definitely been all conned out this weekend. Okay, so it is the next day. I am back home and fully rested up from my adventures of the convention yesterday. All in all, I spent probably about a total of $160, and that's including my tickets, my ride up there. All in all, I would say Animate was actually very, very fun. One of my friends did end up losing one of their merch bags. I'm really hoping that today they will be able to find it because they are going back to the convention today. So as I explained earlier on in the video, Animate is hosted by the same people who do GalaxyCon. And for those of you who've ever attended GalaxyCon, you know that it can be really, really congested and really, really chaotic. However, this convention, despite the amount of people that were there, I at no point of time felt like I was being crushed in or claustrophobic. The lines were a lot more organized than it's ever been. Again, this is a different convention to GalaxyCon. GalaxyCon happens in the middle of the summer, so maybe there are just more people who attend that. But there were a lot of people at Animate, and despite that, I felt like everything was running very smoothly. In the previous years, whenever I attended GalaxyCon, they had the check-in inside the actual building, like as soon as you entered the doors, and it was really chaotic and super crazy. And the first time I ever attended GalaxyCon, me and my boyfriend walked around for a whole 20 minutes inside the convention center trying to look where we even get our badge at. This time, however, they have the badge check-in right outside before you even enter the building, which I think is so much smarter and it works so much better. I was able to go in, get my badge, and go right into the convention. So I'm gonna show you guys what all I got at this convention. Now granted, I spent a total of about $160 total at this convention. That's including my Saturday tickets, as well as the Uber fare to get back and then also to get home, as well as the food and drink, and then also some of the merchandise. Now granted, if you're a little bit more on a budget, you don't have to worry about getting food at the convention. You don't need to worry about, if you have a car, then you don't need to worry about getting any sort of ride there. So here's what I got at the actual convention. Whenever I was at one of the artist booth, they ended up giving me this little Superman pin because I talked about how much I liked Superman. So that's very cool. It's not very often that you get like a little free gift at a convention, but I'm definitely going to treasure this. I believe this is actually the artist who gave me the Superman pin. I think this is actually his business card, so if you want to take a look at that. I don't know how well my camera's gonna focus on it. And then here's actually the back. And then I also bought some stickers because you guys know that I love stickers. These are Resident Evil themed, which I'm so happy about. I didn't see a whole lot of, surprisingly, I didn't see a whole lot of Resident Evil merch, but I'm gonna show you guys what this looks like. Here I have a little Ada Wong from Resi 4, and then I also have a little Leon Kennedy, a little Luis, and then a little Ashley. I have no idea where I'm going to put these stickers. I don't think I'm ready to put them on anything, so I'm just gonna hold on to them and put them on my shelf until I can find something good to put them on. I also got this really beautiful Hannibal and Will Graham print. I am a sucker for traditional art and traditional media, and this art style is so gorgeous. I should have gotten this artist's business card, but yeah, this is something I got at Animate. And then this is what the Saturday pass looked like for Animate. As you can see, it still has the same character that represents GalaxyCon. I don't know what this character's name is supposed to be honest. And then this is just what the back of it looks like. So yeah, this will be a nice little addition to my little shrine of event passes. All in all, I had a really good time. I ran into several people that I ended up actually knowing. I didn't think a whole lot of people that I knew would actually be there, but I'm glad that I did run into some old friends. Considering that it's an event, the food and the drinks weren't that expensive. I did just get dumplings, and I did just end up getting like one water bottle that I carried around during the entire event. But from my experience at this event, the security, the staff were all really polite. All of the merchants and vendors were very polite. Before we end this video, I do want to give you guys 2 other video suggestions up on my channel. I'd like to suggest for you guys to check out my last convention vlog, which was IBashaCon, and then the vlog before that, which was NC Comic Con. Both of those vlogs are going to be linked in the description down below, and I'll also try and pin a comment. So if you're local to North Carolina and you're kind of new to conventions and you're just trying to figure out what good conventions to go to, those 2 conventions are relatively new and pretty small and fun. So if you want to check it out, see if it's something you're interested in, you can watch those vlogs down below. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. I do hope you guys have a great one, and I'll see you around.